Are the Timberwolves about to win the finals, bro?
Straight up, bro. I can't, stopped watching that game in the fourth quarter. That's how much they were dominating. I'm sorry, yeah. I'm surprised, bro. I'm surprised. Without Rudy Gobert, up 20 points, up 30 points in most of that game. That was pretty impressive.
I didn't see this coming at all, bro. Like, I think they're gonna. I don't know. I feel like they're gonna win this series. Like, unless the Nuggets just go crazy, but I
Which
just
they
don't see
could.
that happening. Like, yeah, they could, but I don't see that happening. But I don't see any team. That's only team I guess would be Boston, but like the Knicks can't beat them. I don't think Hardenstein and Mitchell Robinson can like battle with Rudy Gobert and uh Karl Anthony Towns, and then no one can stop Anthony Edwards. Like that dude
That's
is
what it is.
no one can stop him. Like who's guarding him, bro? Maybe Jaylen Brown, but I don't think he's still stopping him like at all. Like
Yeah. I want to see Kai and Luca versus the Timberwolves though. I think they're very surprising right now too. No one is stopping Kai.
yeah, maybe they can just outscore them, but the defense from the Timberwolves has been overwhelming, at least in this series, because the offense from the I don't know, maybe just the Lakers just took too much out of the Nuggets, bro. The Lakers, if they did one thing, they definitely battled with them. It took too much out of them.
Not enough though, because they lost, but it's all good. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the All the Smoke podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, for real, bro. Lots been happening. A lot's been happening. But you ready for this?
Yes, sir. Also, shout out to my boy Kung Fu Kenny, man. He held it down for LA, man. We up. We up. We outside. We outside this summer. Come on now. I told y'all what I say. Y'all heard me on this podcast. But yeah, let's get into it.
I'm Joshua Potts, Mr. Possible, always with the brother with the same mother, Aaron Potts, Super Hot Potts, and you're watching and listening to your favorite two black runners every single
Two black, Tuesday. Yes, sir. Back again with another podcast for you. Extra crispy. Let's hop into it, bro. A lot happening in the world right now. A lot
yeah,
going on.
we got a little running report this week, kind of just reviewing all the things that are happening and running from track and field, the culture, and so much more, just to talk about over the next 30 or so minutes. But yeah, a lot's been going on, and probably the most devastating, the saddest news heard this morning. This morning here on Two Black Tuesday, just as before we started recording this, I seen this article from BBC titled "I Don't Trust Anyone: How Trolling Hurt Kipchoge." As you guys know, Eliud Kipchoge, back-to-back marathon Olympic champion, second fastest man ever to run the marathon, first person to ever break 2 hours in the marathon, not official marathon time, but breaking 2 hours. He was being trolled on social media, so much so that he doesn't use social media anymore. He felt threatened for his life in Kenya, and he lost 90% of his friends. People were believing that he really had something to do with the death of Kelvin Kiptum. Now, if you don't know, Kelvin Kiptum, 24 years old, broke Eliud Kipchoge's world record in the marathon, ran 2 hours and 34 seconds, and was looking to be the first man to break 2 hours, but he died tragically in a car accident in February, the day of Milrose. So I believe that was February 11th, I believe, this year. A crazy incident, completely tragic, but Eliud Kipchoge is being ran off of social media, and it's getting people are threatening to burn down his training camp, burn down his investments, burn down his family. This is what
What?
he told BBC, Aaron. Like, this is like we were just reading some of this story before we got on air. This is crazy.
No, this is absolutely insane. It's like, because it's gone from social media to real life fear. Like He's afraid for his family members. He's afraid for his kids to be biking and biking around, going to school because someone wants to come and take vengeance. And it's just interesting because it's like I guess you have to think of it as like Kelvin Kiptum was the pride of the country, as Kipchoge is. He was such a hero in the country that I don't know, people going crazy. That pain and grief of losing him. Whoever's associated with it, everybody wants a scapegoat, I guess. But I also thought it was just crazy because this is the first time we've heard Kipchoge speak about this. It's the first time we've seen him like show like this type of emotion. I feel like he's always so just like in the Yoda mode. So like I was just I was just taken aback by like the emotion that Kipchoge showed. But I also just was like, wow, people really thought that this man conspired on his death just for like a time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
that's wild. I get people say that. I get how you could say that, but I didn't think like it would seep over into real life for real. Like, bro, I can't be your friend no more. You know?
no, no, yeah. Let's hear from Kipchoge in that BBC interview and just exactly to see that hear and to see that emotion, what Aaron is talking about from Kipchoge that we don't often see ever.
I started to call a lot of people to see whether people are safe. But my worst moment was I tried to call my mom, and I'm sorry. It was really painful for me to learn even from my own people, my own, some who I'm actually directed them, but my training mates, those who actually I have contact with them. But I learned that the friendship cannot be forever.
This is really example of all like, even though social media is not a real place, like it totally is as well. Like it is become so real in our it seeps so much into our real life that from these words said on social media, from them seeing in the article, it talks about how he's seen people biking around his house that were bike around his house and like at some point he had to go out there and tell them like to get away or whatever that he did, that like this stuff comes into real life and this isn't to the extreme, but we see this like I don't know. It's kind of this the Drake and Kendrick beef. You feel me? Like these things that we're just hearing on social media or just rap battles come into real life, and it's sad to see in something that's really alleged, that's really even seems far fetched in the time in the sense, because like you said, it's all about a, a time. It's about somebody just like it's about competition. It's about running, and it's like whereas, but the world's crazy. The world's like,
Yeah.
what are we thinking?
Yeah. It's not that serious. Yeah, it's not that deep or serious. And it's also too like it is interesting because we're both Americans. We don't know what Kenyan culture is like and people's access to others. Like, I mean, we could all speculate, but we don't understand what that's like. So that's another like interesting aspect of the situation to me. This man really felt as if his mom didn't answer that there was a possibility that someone had done something to her. That's how real these threats were, to him. And maybe people really do have that type of access. Like in America, we saw, what happened to Sha'Carri after the marijuana thing and the talking how people were treating her and how she was cyberbullied.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. But it wasn't, I don't know if it was to the point where she was walking around feeling like something was going to happen to her or people close to her. So like, that's crazy. That's crazy. And then Kipchoge goes on to say that this affected his Tokyo Marathon performance because April 24th is when Kelvin died. Right, that's when he passed, and then March 2nd, I believe, was Tokyo, and he said he didn't sleep for like 3 days in
All
between
out
that time.
there.
Yeah, he didn't sleep for 3 days because he had all this like going on. It's like this dude passes, and everyone immediately was like everything was immediately pushed onto him. Like, oh, you never congratulated him. You never did this. You never did that. Blah, 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 blah. Like, we gonna burn your house. We gonna burn your family. We gonna, people want to take the anger out, but imagine being away from your family while you're getting those type of messages, bro. This is track and field, bro. This is marathoning, bro. Like, this is not no gang. I know we compare it to the Drake and Kendrick. This ain't have nothing even gang affiliated at all, or nothing
Yeah.
close to that. So like, that's wild, bro. That's wild. But take a look at that interview when you have a second. It's very interesting. I was very, very surprised.
No, I'm taking back.
Yes.
I'm really taking back. And Kipchoge is now on the mission. He got selected for the Kenyan team he may be the first person ever to win back to back to back Olympic marathons. But now to have this leading into his marathon, leading into his training is a whole nother factor on him. Hopefully he's able to overcome this. Hopefully everyone remains safe in his family. And yeah, it's extremely, extremely sad to see. But Aaron, there's a lot of other stuff that happened in the running world this past weekend. Number one probably being the World Relays. The World Relays was the number one thing that probably happened this weekend. But honestly, bro, like I don't really feel like it was a big deal, but was it really like I don't know. I don't know. It feels kind of like confusing to me. Like when I first seen it, because I wasn't able to watch it fully on Saturday, especially when I first seen it, I'm all like, wait, like there's like rounds to this and like people are qualifying for the Olympics. Like I guess I just didn't know like how this was really like working. And like to be honest, I didn't know that like the top 14 teams in each event on Saturday, I believe were auto qualifying to the Olympics on day one. Then day two, they were competing for like Olympic lane seating and for like World Relays Championships. And like first place would get 40,000, then 20,000 for second, 10,000. I didn't know like it was Olympic qualifying. I thought it was just like a world championship, but for relays. And I was kind of confused. What was your reaction to the world relays this past weekend?
Man, you ain't gotta lie, bro. You weren't thinking about the world relays this weekend. Nah, I'm playing. But nah, I
I was
I
thinking
ain't
about it.
gonna.
I was thinking about it though, because I was at Mount Sac and I saw, I was talking to Bailey Lear and she was like, oh, I'm on the World Relays. And I was talking to Kyrie King. I was like, oh, dang, this team's going to be beast at World Relays. But like, maybe it's just because we USA, bro. Because USA dominated. We won
Our
that.
team's qualified. Our
We
team is
won the
gonna
4x1.
qualify. We don't need the world. Our country doesn't need the world relays to qualify.
Yeah.
But I like how they built in the qualifications to the Olympics. That made it another story for those smaller countries, and it leads into the Olympics. And it was on NBC, am I correct? So I believe, yeah, it was.
It
It
was. It
was.
was. I have
I'm
it
pretty sure it
recorded
was.
on
I saw it on
TV,
my
but I haven't
YouTube.
watched it. I don't know if it was on
Yeah.
like NBC4 or was it on NBC Sports.
So I see how they were trying to connect that. Maybe they did grab in some consumers that, are general track fans that are going to watch track in the Olympics. And then they got to see the story of Botswana and how they made it what they did in the 4x4 winning, and they got to see Leslie Tobago around 43 something. And now he's someone to watch. So maybe there's just like some wins within it, but to the American, now you got me in my marketing, and to the American consumer, I don't think it was that much of a draw of an event. They did have Noah Lyles there. They did have Gabby Thomas there. They had Melissa Jefferson. They had Matt Bolin. So they had some heavy hitters. They definitely had some heavy. They had Kenny Benerick. They had some heavy hitters out there that could have drawn, a couple audience or so, but I'm not gonna lie and say I was like super invested in World Relays this weekend.
But honestly, like when you say like all those people that you mentioned are great. They're fantastic. You feel me? Like some of the best ever. But like you said, like we America, like we relays. We relays. And this is like really this right here, this interview from Noah Lyles, when he's asked about a rivalry between Canada, is how I feel when USA races the relay, bro. This is exactly how I feel, Aaron. Let me show you this, bro. Have you seen this?
Nah, man, I ain't trying to hear about no Canada right now, Crody.
Rivalry between yourselves and Canada. Is that something that we can look forward to going forward? Rivalry between who? Canada and yourself. That's a budding rivalry. Who? Canada. Who?
That's what I'm saying.
No, of course.
Like, come on, bro. Rivalry between who? We dominating.
Canada, you
Between
cheesing,
who?
fam. What's
Mixed
up,
relay?
Crody?
Mixed
Y'all didn't
relay?
get.
4x4?
Noah must have been listening to
4x1?
Noah knew Kendrick dropped this weekend, bro. Come on, man. Don't be bringing in no Canada stuff right now, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, what? OV, don't bring that OV ho energy over here, bro. Come on, man.
I
Nah.
have a question for you for the World Relays. So these teams, I have two things that I feel like we could do from the World Relays to make it more interesting, honestly. But I think it was like an interesting event. People seemed captivated by it. There were some really good performances. I think Gabby Thomas did amazing running the 4x4 and the 4x1. Rashida Adeleke from Ireland, she ran great. So it's good to see like it's kind of like how you were kind of saying off air that you don't feel like track season has started yet. It was kind of like a preseason event. You know, you had to see people do multiple events and perform out. Like Rashida Adeleke did multiple events, showed out. Gabby Thomas at the 4x4 and 4x1 ran super great and just shows that like I don't know, Gabby Thomas is about to have a really good season, honestly. Like she's becoming
Yeah,
she's
she's running good.
bro, she's becoming more of the face of women's track and field right now. And Sha'Carri, like her and Sha'Carri are like battling to be like the ultimate faces of women's track and field. And it's just interesting to see their progression and doing that, which is I think we're gonna be talking about them for a really long time, just the impact that they're having on the sport. That's besides the point of what I was going to get to. But I think what I really feel is that we had these great 4x1 teams on the men and the women's side, especially the men. Like that was a really good team. Should this team like just run at the Olympics too? I was kind of making this point like a month ago when Gainesville Elite ran that we should have a team. We should have teams running the 4x1s, the 4x4s at USA's, and that same team run at the Olympics. But these World Relays teams like completely dominated, not even close. Why not just keep this same team for the Olympics?
No, because I want to see Coleman. I want to see Coleman starting it off, bro. I want to see Ariane Knighting. I mean, Kyron King. Shout out IE all day. I would love to see him on there. But what about Ariane Knighting? It's not. We don't know if that's the best team. You know,
What do you mean? They just beat the
we didn't
world.
have Sha'Carri, so you gonna have a 4x1 without Sha'Carri?
If we don't, but I'm just saying, if that's the team that like is the winner, like that's the best team that can get them. That's gonna get the stick around. That's all I care about. Getting that stick around, running fast.
I don't
And
know, man.
the more that we
I
can
don't
do
think.
that with efficient exchange zones and everything, like I'm cool.
I don't think that we. I don't think that we there yet. I don't think we there yet. We still gotta. We gotta figure out some things because if that was the case, maybe they would. Those athletes would have pulled up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. I think that's why it should be
But
a thing.
but I do think like Kyrie King, he should be on the relay pool though. You know, like I'm not saying he should guarantee get the third spot, but his consideration for being on the 4x1 should go up because he just represented his country at World Relays.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
So
Like,
even if like you know, like we don't want this at all, but like say he has a bad performance. Any one of these guys, Cordy Lindsay has a bad performance at Olympic trials, Kimber Derrick, it's all like
yeah,
still
that's
be
just
on the pool to go
yeah.
because he's been a part of the relays, he's at World Relays, won it. Like, why put somebody that's a freshman in college or just graduated, never trained with these guys at all on the team?
If he at least makes it to like the final, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He makes it to the final, has a bad race, doesn't maybe he doesn't make the team or he gets like or he's outside of what the typical relay pool is. We should look back at world relays and take that into consideration. Maybe it's not guaranteed, but it should definitely get some credit for that.
All right. One other thing I have about World Relays, then we can move on. So there's not going to be any more DMR, it looks like, or like some SMRs or some four. Remember, they did a mixed 2x4. I remember too, like Donovan Brazier and oh my gosh, Sierra what's the girl's name? Black girl name that ran the 800. Sierra. That for Hoka.
Sierra. What was their last name
Sierra
though?
Brown.
Brad.
Sierra
Yeah.
Brown. Her like they ran like that 2x400. It looks like they're not doing any of those fun events at World Relays. So which is I don't know how I really feel about that. I like seeing that type of stuff. I like seeing a DMR. You don't ever get to see that with the best in the world really doing that. They did some of that at World Relays at times. I mean at Pin Relays, but it was cool seeing that at World Relays, not just the regular relay events. It was almost like an all-star game for me in that type of way. And it drew some interest of like, I already see the 4x4, 4x1 at World Championships. Well, I have something I want to propose. What if we remove
This dude got the ideas, bro. World
what if we
Athletics be hating
remove
this
the
man.
4x4, the mixed relay, and the 4x1 from the World
Damn.
Championships? Now, we still run these at the Olympics because, like, people tune in for the Olympics for the 4x1. But during the regular cycle, let's run the 4x4, 4x1, and the mixed relay at the World Championships. Get the best teams. That's where you get your World Championship relay title and create an event around that every 2 years or 1.5 year or every single year, and that we really like have a controlled atmosphere of that. Because like it's a new way to do track and field that we concentrate on the relays and also doesn't like, yeah, I just think that would be cool. I don't know.
You're saying just make World Relays matter.
Yeah, make world relays matter more than it does right now. Like this is the world championship. This is the world
So
championship.
with the World Relays always be, so then do you always make the World Relays be on the year of the Olympics?
I don't think you can. I think you can do the world relays every single year, but in the year of the Olympics, it's Olympic qualifying, and it's also that's a world championship because the USA is now a world relays champion in 2024. But other years, but this year it also leads them to Olympic qualifying to get into the round of 4x4 there on the big stage. But other years, that could just be the championship. You have everybody there to run the 4x4 right there, world relays championship. I think that could be cool making the world relays matter because to me, but maybe it's because I'm American, world relays didn't matter that much to me, and maybe I didn't seep into more of the stories of like it's cool to see Liberia and Nigeria and Ghana all get their teams in, but like I didn't really have a doubt that they were going to get those teams in, but maybe I just didn't even know of how long it's been or whatever it's been. I was like Liberia, okay, cool.
I see what you're saying because then World Championships don't got to be 10 days no more.
No.
You might cut down. Yeah, you might cut down World Champs to about like maybe 6 days, maybe 7, even. But yeah, it's less events at Worlds. You know what I'm saying? And then we have another championship event that we could be hype about. So I like it. What I want to see at World Champs is a 4x8. Bring that back. Bring a 4x8. DMR would be cool too, but not even that. I think a 4x8 would be good to see. We don't need a 4x mile or 4x15. 4x8 longest event and a DMR.
No, yeah. I think
SMR is honestly cool too. Honestly, SMR is cool. It's fast. It's quick. But yeah.
I think that stuff would be fun. I like that stuff. I think that's fun. But another thing that's really fun, bro, and like that's just insane, and I feel like we talk about this every single time we have a podcast, is that high school track and field is just crazy. And like this is just we have to just highlight it this part of the week. Like high school track and field is crazy. Let's go through of some of the crazy things that are kind of happening because like I just don't understand, Aaron. I don't understand. How is this kid Quincy Wilson running 45-17, tying the eighth fastest all time, and he runs a relay leg of 44-37 at the pin relays? I don't get Bullis. How do you fall down twice at the pin relays? I don't understand that. You feel me? But like that did happen, but it produced amazing legs for Quincy Wilson with the 44-37. That 44-37 split, Aaron, would have been the second fastest at the world relays for the American team. For an American team, that would have been the second fastest. The fastest was 44-26 for the Americans. Two other guys ran 45. Two other guys ran 44. So like he's also number 5 right now in the US in the outdoor season in the 400 with that 45-17. Bro, like This dude's definitely a relay leg. Like if he stays healthy, if he gets to the final, like he's in the relay pool, is he not? Like this dude's running
Hey
great.
man, I'm just saying this man makes it to the relay in the. This boy got like that Naruto type energy. Like he got that Naruto hunger and energy to like ready to be a shinobi. You know what I'm saying? Out here fighting with the adults. So I feel like if he gets there, it's gonna be his moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's gonna win the race, but it's gonna be a moment for him, for sure. But most telling to me still is this boy went up to that 800 around 150. I was like, okay, he not playing. You know, he's willing to put in the work. So like, it's gonna be exciting. June is not that far. June
No,
is not that far. He can make it. He can make it there. I don't know how it is. State in the and he's in Maryland, right? In Maryland.
yeah, he's in Maryland. I'm pretty sure they have a separate. I don't think their state meets even like it's not that bad because they have like a separate because they're not private because they're private school. I remember talking to somebody that they're like have a separate state meet from like the public school, or I think I'm pretty sure.
So he'll have time. He'll have time to recover and prepare. He shouldn't be burnt by the Olympic trials. So it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be exciting to see a sophomore. It's crazy.
A sophomore. Yeah. And see, even if he races at, I wonder if he'll just skip U20s as well, because U20s is now going to Peru. They reversed the decision. So I wonder if he'll skip U20s and just go right to the Olympic trials and try to make that. But he definitely can. He probably should just give himself the rest and go for it. Also, another crazy stat, bro. I don't know. Another crazy stat. I was at CIF Southern Section this past weekend, cheering on some kids that I used to coach. You feel me? I was at Division 2, but at Division 1, like this isn't as big as Quincy Wilson. It's not as flashy, but like nobody's talking about this, bro. No, like this Aaron, this is insane. Like, is this the new normal of just
Yes.
kids just running insane? So in the girls 3,200 meter at Southern Section Division 1 prelims. So y'all don't know, like California is split up in a whole bunch of different sections, and for Southern Section, we have to go through Southern Section prelims, Southern Section finals, and then we go to Masters and then we go to state. So 4 weeks in a row. This is only the first round. For the first round in the girls 3,200 meter at Division 1, only 9 girls move on to finals. The 9 girls that moved on to finals, I believe they ran. Here, let me make sure. The 9 girls that moved on the finals, they ran 10:39 and faster in the 3,200 meter. 10:39 and faster. The winning time was 10:25 by friend of the show, Riley Blade. But 19 girls in total broke 11 minutes in the 3,200 meter, Aaron. 19
That's
girls in
crazy.
total this year at the CIF Southern Section Division 1 prelims. Now I'm looking at this, I'm like, that's insane. So let me go back 10 years ago, 2014. How many girls broke 11 minutes then? And actually, 2014 was a really fast year. You remember Destiny Collins? She was back there back in the day. They were going crazy. Everyone was going crazy in California. They've been in a while. In 2014, only 9 girls broke 11.
Wow.
But like I was like, oh, maybe this kind of like progressively got faster over time. Nah, bro, last year only 7 girls broke 11. Now
What's happening?
19 girls broke 11 minutes this year. It's I don't know if this is an anomaly. I don't know if this is the new normal, but high school track and field is something else. It's something else, man.
Well, yeah, that's crazy when you look back to last year and there's still like a drastic difference, right? But I don't know. I somewhat think this is the new normal, man. I definitely think it's been a buildup, even though you show those numbers from last year. But I think all the barriers that we thought in high school are gone, bro.
Yeah.
Like you know, like the barrier, and when I was in high school, if you went under 410 as a boy in the mile, like you were one of them ones. You're one of the top guys in the country. Going under 410 does not make you one of the top guys in the country. You're just another dude. You're fast still. You're fast. You ran 408. You're pretty good. But the fastest it's under 405 though, you know? So it's just Yeah, everything has stepped up a little bit, and it's an Olympic year. So you have to know during the Olympic year, across all from pro to high school to middle school to kindergarten, everybody just runs faster because the Olympic energy is just in the air. So that might have something to do with it too.
You think well, we got the Olympic year, so that could be a factor. But I did a video on Running Report talking about just how high school, how crazy it is. Remember talking to Danny Simmons? He was saying that it's a newfound belief. Do you believe that? Do you think it's a newfound belief, or do you think it's the shoes, or is it the training? Like, there's so much access to training on social media. Like, if you're a runner and you follow a lot of like running pages, I'm sure you'll just be on reels and you'll see people talking about training, you know what I mean? Like all the time. And there's so much more access. There's more people doing personal training than ever before. I feel like I was talking about that with dad yesterday, that there's such an interest for high school sports to make what you do personalized on top of what you're doing right now. Is it just the ordinary just belief in ourselves? Like seeing someone like Sean Bronson being so public, like 420 is not fast. It's just not. Like, is that what changed the tide? Like, is it the shoes? Is it the training? Is it the access to training? Is it the belief? What of those factors, what do you think it actually is?
It's hard to say which one the most, but it's definitely a combination of them all. Because like, even if you, because like one thing you got to even think about, like freaking Hobbs Kessler. That dude ran 334 as a high schooler. Think about seeing people like Ariane Knighting,
Yeah.
make it onto like teams and things like that too. So I feel like even just the success of like the young athletes going to pros, like yeah, I think that makes you dream a little bit bigger too. But I do think that, the technology, I think coaches have access to more knowledge in general to figure out things too. And yeah, and kids have that with it as well. But it's interesting we say all this. Like, what is it? What is it? Because even though kids are running so much faster, there's still this gap onto like people that consume track and field and getting their attention. Yes, it's gotten better with the Citius mags, with ourselves, with the Track World News, with news, with Real Talk. Uh, you know, but like, why is there still this gap? If all these kids are running so much better, they're so much more inspired and everything. Why does it still feel like there's this gap between, you know, track and field fans and putting
Yeah.
athletes onto a pedestal? I feel like we've improved, but you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying there?
I feel like with these two kids that we're going to talk about next, I think they can close the gap a little bit. If they end up becoming the greats that they seem to be at this moment and fulfilling a lot of the destiny that people bestowed on them as high schoolers, I don't know. I think Nico Young and Colin Solomon could be the ones that could possibly fill in that gap. At Oxy this past weekend, Nico Young and Colin Solomon, they beat an extraordinary field in the 1500 meter. Nico Young won that race with a 3:34.56 is PR. Colin Solomon ran 3:34.64, his second fastest 1500 meter ever. They're both in the top three. Well, the top three US outdoors 1500 meter times right now are Cooper Tier at 3:32, Colin Solomon at 3:33, and Nico Young at 3:34. They beat Matthew Sinchowitz, Abdi Hamid Nur, Craig Engels, Luis Guajava was in that race. This was a loaded field, Aaron, and Nico Young and Colin Solomon dominated 1-2 punch from NAU, Newbury Park. We knew him from back in the day from California. Big on social media. People know about these guys. What's your reaction to seeing them beat down the Olympic champion for 2016 and these great guys in this field?
First, we got to give a shout out to Matthew Centrowitz, bro. That's good. 335 right now for
Scary.
him. Hey, he might be a serious contender. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. He's good. I feel like he hasn't been this quick in the seat at this part in the season in a long time. So I'm interested to see how that progresses. Nico Young, I'm more impressed with him. 334, that's really impressive. It shows that we already know he's strong and has a strength in the 10K, right? But now he's showing his 334 speed. So he's gonna be ready to kick with these boys, come to the Olympic trials, whether it's in the 10K or the 5K. I think this makes him more legit. And Colin is the I don't know, the dark horse or like the firecracker in between it all. It's like, man, like how good is this dude really? Is this a yard and a goose Cole Hawker situation? Because are we gonna see him break out, later in a couple weeks at NCAA's and stuff? Like how much faster are we gonna see him go this year in the 15? We might not see Nico in many more 15s, but is Colin gonna get down to that 332? Like, is that possible? I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
And we can't forget that Colin Solomon the week before this ran 145 in the 800. So like the dude has serious wheels. 145 was probably the most surprising thing I seen. But like you said, Centro, he's in this amazing performance, 335. But it shows that he's a contender. But dude, the way Colin Solomon's running, the way Cooper Tier is even running, the way
Cole is running crazy. He ran 1308 the other week. Like
the way
Cole is
way we
big.
know Yard is, I'm just thought like, dude, I don't know if there's a way. I still don't know if there's a way, but Citro's on the right track though. He gonna be in the race, and that's what we love to
That's
see.
what I'm saying. That's all. Central just has to be in the race, and then you never know, bro. He like LeBron at this point. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. He like LeBron at this point. LeBron didn't make it to the finals though. So
I mean, but you got LeBron and you got LeBron, your team in the game.
facts. But this I feel like this field though, this win over Colin and Nico, for me, really showed me that like, okay, they can make the Olympic team. It made me kind of more a believer. I don't know if they will make the Olympic team. I feel like Nico has a better shot than Colin, if it's in the 5 or the 10, just depending on the day. But being able to beat such a loaded field like this was all like, oh, okay. Like to actually win it was like, okay, yeah, they can make a team. Like they're on fire right now.
Same. Definitely not gonna say it's impossible for them to make it, but like you said, if they do make this team, if they both make teams as teammates, that will be huge for California.
Yeah, and that'll bring so many eyes to the Olympics. Like so many, because already there's a lot of people that are like just runner nerds that like Colin, that like Nico, that have been following them forever. But there's a lot of kids that don't watch the sport as much, and probably just been following because they really liked them when they were in high school, and they saw such great things, and be able to see that kid on the world stage is going to draw so many people in, especially like a Quincy Wilson. If you see Quincy Wilson go on to make the Olympics this year, there's going to be so many kids that are going to be more drawn into the sport. I feel like that even did a lot for like my generation, like being able to see Sidney McLaughlin in 2016. Like those people that were runners in 2016 are never going to forget Sidney McLaughlin's name because they saw her as a 16-year-old when they were 16 run at the Olympic Games as a runner and be able to connect to her story so much. They'll never forget her. And we can see that same type of effect with a Quincy Wilson, Colin Salmon, Nico Young, Sadie Englehart. I don't know. We'll see
Yeah.
how this develops. Last thing before we get out of here, this just came out a while ago, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it. We never got to talk about it. The 77-6 Invitational or 776 Invitational with Gabby Thomas and Alexis Ohani. Alexis Ohani is the co-founder of Reddit and also Serena Williams' husband. They're going to start a new woman-only track meet this September. It's going to pay $60,000 to winners, $25,000 to runners-up, $10,000 to third placers. And this is compared to the Diamond League, which only pays $10,000, $6,000, and $3,500. Ohani said that this at 776, we believe in the power of sports to drive positive change and inspire future generations. By investing in women's track, we aim to elevate the profile of female athletes and create a more inclusive and equitable sporting landscape. They have a promise of making the 776 Invitational to revolutionize the way track is presented to the masses with a modernized broadcast and in-person fan experience. And this came out about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Aaron, what was your reaction to this news? And
PL,
excited for it,
man.
bro.
World Athletics, Diamond League. These people got their foot on your neck, bro.
For real.
Y'all gotta step up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't paying these people enough, bro. And people are finally. You got Michael Johnson. You got Michael Johnson and Kyle Murray over here. You know, you got Gabby Thomas and Alexis Ohani over here, bro. That's boom, boom. That's two gut punches, bro. They gonna follow the money at the end of the day. But no, I love that this is starting off with women as well. We know how powerful women are in the track and field space. So I love that they're gonna get that elevation, and I love that Gabby Thomas is a part of this and
Yeah.
is an athlete taking lead in this. That's a huge name that's gonna draw so many people, and it also shows that she's more than an athlete. So this is great. This is a great win for the sport. And I'm excited to see it come to life. But it's going to take time. But I think this gives me more hope that we're going to get to a point where there is going to be like a legit track and field league. Like, you know what we see Michael Johnson doing, what we're seeing with this. These are like baby steps towards the actual thing, you know, especially if they go well. And I have faith that they will.
Yeah, I think it gives me faith too to see someone like Alexis, who co-founder of Reddit. Like this is a creator
Yeah.
at heart, you know what I mean? Someone that creates, that knows tech, that creates industries, that creates that revolutionizes things. So for someone like this to come in and spearhead and see the potential that track and field has, and especially women's track and field, because I don't care, like track and field has been, I remember seeing Mike Fleet tweet this about like track and field has not revolutionized itself in the 100+ years that it's been a sport. It's always been played the exact same way. So like if we start splitting this thing up and chopping it up in different ways for the professionals, I'm totally okay with that because it should be different. Because we're going there. When you go to watch a track and field meet, like when I was at CIF this past weekend, it's parents going to go watch their kids race. And when their kids race, they gonna leave. Because my objective was watch my kid race, and then I don't care about any of these other kids in the stands. But when you go watch a pro meet, your objective is to be entertained. And like be entertained and like to see the best competition in the world and really have a good time. Just like you go to basketball, football, whatever it is. But how are you gonna do that with the same format as going to the CIF meet? Like when you go watch AAU basketball game, it's not the same as NBA. When you go to AAU, there's like 7 different games going on. You know what I mean? When you watch NBA, there's only one game going on the entire time that you're completely focused. Everybody's cheering and all that. So like you can't have that same format from bottom to top for all the way to the pros. So something definitely has to change. A woman track invite with a revolutionizer like Alexis, Gabby Thomas at the helm too. I'm excited.
Yeah, and it'll be a celebration. I kind of like that as just one meet, and that could be a thing in the future where we just have meets that have bigger prize pools. So it's not like you got to go to all these different diamond leagues. You just go to this one race, maybe it eliminates a couple of the diamond leagues that you go to, but this is definitely competition. This is definitely competition for the diamond league. Definitely competition for world athletics. Because if the prize purses get so big that it's better for them to go to this meet than to go to world championships, that's going to be a problem because that's going to start shifting where the money goes for the brands as well. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see.
That'd be crazy. If someone like ever decided like I'm not going to World Champs because I got the 776 Invitational in September and like I gotta make sure to get that $100,000 first place, that would make things like really interesting to skip the World Championships for that. Like that would be dope to be honest. That would be cool.
We'll see. We'll see.
But we appreciate y'all sticking around for this episode of the Two Black Runners podcast. Aaron, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, man, make sure y'all go check out the last podcast we did with Kiera Smalls. I think the last day for entries for the Run the Block campaign is May 11th. And again, that's a $200,000 grant for a Black-owned running store. So if you know somebody that's trying to do that or looking into that, go ahead and check that. Go ahead and check that out. But just great podcast too. So appreciate all the support y'all been giving us.
Even the Joe Holter podcast, that was doing well now.
Yeah.
That was doing really well. Like one of our best podcasts in a while, to be honest, like performance-wise. And people are really liking that. You get a lot of gems on that podcast. We got a lot of 2 great interviews. Thank you guys for support. Track season is starting up, bro. Track is back. Track is back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll see y'all later.